And welcome back, everyone, to the How to Introduce series. We're actually going to extend the Fantastic Four to 4 movies because it just makes sense.
Why not?
It's only fair. Let's give them 4 good movies and have the 4 bad ones in the past. Let's balance this thing out. So yeah, once again, you can find me on Twitter, Mitch692, and of course, I'm joined by Sean.
What's up? You can follow me here, nowhere else.
Just keep
nowhere
listening.
else. If I get, what's that?
Just keep listening to these. So you guys.
Yes. I'll be here as long as you guys want me to.
As long as he's allowed on the internet at all.
Yeah, it's true. That's there's an asterisk next to it for sure.
The way you be going, he ain't. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
I get very bored, guys. I get very bored.
He does get very bored. Yeah. But so yeah, we left off part 3 with the Galactus tease. I know I had the thumbnails all Galactus, and I kind of regret that now, but it was too late. I just had to have another Galactus thumbnail, wouldn't I? But, So yeah, not entirely sure how to approach this one. Not entirely. Because do you just have the entire thing as one big bombastic Galactus like Endgame movie?
Yeah, no. I think like you gotta look at all the stories in the past though. It's like every Fantastic Four story that involves him is pretty huge. You know, even the small like intimate one, like his origin and stuff like that. It's never like a small like it might be a self-contained storyline, but it's not like small in scope. So like I think this is a good introduction to the character because if you introduce him anywhere else, it just feels weird because he's so connected to those characters.
And say, speaking of introducing him, I think it's probably an idea to start off actually giving an origin. Because that's one thing I think they missed a trick with Thanos. Yes, we know where he came from. We didn't get his origin, which his origin is one of the best in comics, and I was kind of not mad about it. I was just like, it's just like, what is it? I think it was Tom Taylor who wrote Thanos Rising, and it's like that book was so good that could have been a movie or a series itself, and we didn't take anything from it. And it's just like,
but who's to say that the Eternals doesn't tackle some type?
I mean, hopefully it does, but that's taking a fair bit away from the Eternals movie. So, admittedly, you need like an entire series or a good fair chunk of a movie to tell his origin. But it's like, he's dead, and it's like, let's explain Thanos again.
Well, he's dead, in quotation marks. I mean,
that's true. He's dusty.
Like these movies, nothing is really dead. I mean, even the people that, like, in the comics that were supposed to be dead, end up coming back.
That's true.
I think Uncle Ben was probably the only one that really never came back.
We'll just have Supergiant appear out of nowhere, and she's mad, and then she gets the Infinity Stones somehow again and snaps him back. That's how we do it.
I mean, I feel like the Stones will always be a part. Like, I think they're gonna revisit the Stones in some way, shape, or form because I know. I mean, like, look, the WandaVision stuff is gonna has something to do with it. In theory,
it's a pretty glaring issue he's missing in his forehead. Why has he got it back? What is it?
Also, I mean, like, you got to realize that the movie versions were of Scarlet Witch was created basically, from the Stones. So like, the Stones are pretty much entwined with her origin. So like, the Stones never really. I don't think they ever really. I can't even say the words anymore. Really disappear from like these movies. I think it's like, I mean, even the Time Stone, like, it's got to be explained some way, shape, or form.
It's true.
In the sequel.
True.
So
I think let's maybe have an extended opening before the logo crawl and all that happens. It's like at least just showing him like escaping. Like his universe or his iteration of the universe ends, and he ends up in ours as Galactus, and then you roll the credits, and then you jump to the Fantastic Four doing Fantastic Four-y things.
Sort of like what the Incredible Hulk did. Is like if the origin was basically told in the credits,
kind of,
opening credits, but a little bit more extensive. Right?
Yeah, not like telling the entire movie like Sam Raimi did in the opening credits. Like, not like that.
Yeah.
Let's just have this bald dude get in a spaceship and then travel universes. And there's like, the one above all was like, you must be this thing. Or whoever did that. Kind of.
Oh man, like that would be a hard character to tackle in the MCU. Is like that character.
I say you either have to nerf him completely and just say he's just another Celestial, or you make him.
Or you could even like go the route of like this sounds really this will sound kind of cheesy, but like you could say that Stan Lee was the character.
I mean, you could. You could, yeah.
Stan Lee is the guy who created all this. So
yeah, I mean, the one above all in the comics did appear to Peter Parker as like a homeless dude.
Yeah,
I don't know why a Celestial would appear to Spider-Man as a homeless dude, but it's a thing that happens.
Like, it's the only thing like Peter Parker recognizes from New York is like homeless people, so you can relate to that,
Yeah, so something like that, you like. Just something short and snappy to kind of like just grab your attention. Like, oh, what's this?
But... Yeah, I mean, well, I think tackling Galactus is going to be a special thing, because like I'm sure that the creators of the MCU, like Feige and all of them, always wanted to do this character, but they couldn't. And now they can, and like, like Galactus is like there's like very few like huge big bad guys that are like so big they're almost bigger than like they're I don't know. In Galactus, I feel is like one of those characters where there's just, it's like such a special big character.
Yeah, he's something everyone knows.
No. Yeah, he's recognizable and like he's something that everybody wants to see.
Yeah, he's recognizable. Everyone wants him, but not a lot of people really know that he's a character. It's just he's just a big dude at his planet. It's like no, this dude's actually a legitimate character.
Yeah, and I think I don't know. I have like two minds of things. Like I want this movie to be just kind of balls to the wall, bombastic. Just like. Just throw everything to the wall and see what sticks types thing. But then I also want something that like is kind of like, I don't know, slow, methodical, and like takes its time, but like
a bit like an
Endgame
sort of thing.
Yeah, but like in one movie,
Yeah.
But that's like, I think that would be a mistake in my opinion though, because it's just like, you definitely don't want to rush this character. You want this character to definitely survive.
Oh yeah,
There's like it's like a character you'll never see. He'll always be in the background of like something. Like
yeah.
But
I mean, he needs to be the life bringer in the ultimate. So.
Oh yeah.
No, I ain't killing that dude up. I need Gold Galactus like now.
That would be awesome. By the way, like once we get to that point, that would be just like. You know that Marvel couldn't do any wrong if you could do that,
Sure, I think I'm actually going to make that the next part. We'll do Ultimates after this.
Definitely wondering. Like that group is like pretty cool too. I love the stories that they have, especially American Chavez and like Blue Marvel. I kind of like those characters.
We also need what's her face, Monica Rambeau. We need her something to get from somewhere, wherever she is right now, and have her powers.
She's here.
She's here, but is she powered yet? We don't know
that. I mean,
she could. I mean, she's working for Sword or Shield or whatever it is in One Division, so she's got to have some kind of connection to something. Maybe she's building that rocket to go find Carol. Who knows?
That's true. And then I think this movie, for me, has to like. I think you could. Bring back the Skrulls and the Kree, and like I think you could do a lot of things with different characters.
See, I was thinking, why not do like I think Dan Slott did it in one of his early Fantastic Four issues. Where he had like every member of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Like every previous member, so like Wolverine and all that launch, that She-Hulk, like because by the time a fourth Fantastic Four movie comes out, you'd have a lot of people. Like obviously haven't set up like that they've been part of the team, but you could just bring those characters in as a wink and a nod.
That and you can. I mean, sure. I'm sure by the time this actual movie actually starts, I think X-Men will be at some point developed.
I mean, it's got to be, right?
Well, I mean, I think in some points, I think it has to be developed to. I don't think they're going to develop it all at the same time, but I think it's going to like kind of coincide with each other because like there's a lot of crossover with those two groups. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because it's like I'm just trying to think. Like, if we bring in, say, all previous team members, even though in this they won't be team members, it's more of a wink and a nod to what they could be in the future, and do it that way. And you have it so they're the ones holding Galactus off, while the Four and like Surfer go to find the Nullifier.
The Ultimator, yeah.
You kind of play off that.
I definitely like that, where because that was in the OG series, right? Like him and Johnny went to go for him and Johnny and Reed went to go find the Ultimate Nullifier, and at that point you can actually bring in the Watcher too. Develop that character.
It's also a way to bring in like Skrulls and other people as well. Like obviously you kind of you're not really taking Galactus out of the movie, but you're having him as something that's always there.
Yeah,
he's a big dude. And if you play about with scale, like he's not going to move much. So you can always flash back to like New York, where he's just this towering thing, and like the machinery's going off, and there's destruction and all the good blockbuster stuff. Play it off that way. Just keep flashing back to this dude's not even moving, and like they're throwing everything at him.
They're like fleas to a human being at this point.
Yeah, you do like the typical monster, like a good monster movie and horror movie thing, where you he's there, but you don't see him a lot. You just feel the presence and the threat he has.
Like he's almost in the background of the whole thing, right? Because he's doing you could see him and what he's doing, but he barely even notices you.
Yeah.
And until that moment they find that the Ultimate Nullifier, and then he starts noticing, oh, they do have power.
Reading his Jack Kirby like screeching cricket or whatever the Men in Black gun was called. It's like this tiny little gun, like. I think that's probably the best way to play it, because like 2 hours of fighting a giant Galactus, I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, I think
really don't.
I think you also got to understand that he probably doesn't even notice they exist at this point. He's just doing what he's doing, and he's not even paying them any. Johnny's throwing all the supernova at him, and he's just yeah, okay. It's like an ant, biting him on the ankle. So he's not even bothered by them. So they're basically. I think they should be contending with the Heralds or whatever.
Yeah, they're trying to get through the Heralds to stop everything.
Yeah, because those are the people. Those are the characters that I feel like are gonna do all the action. Yeah, and he's just a natural disaster in the background. He's like the hurricane or the tornado tearing down a building. You can't stop those things. You just have to I don't know, deflect it or something.
You just have to weather the storm.
Right. Yeah, and the characters that you are fighting are the people that you bring in Terra and stuff like that.
You could do this is the introduction to the Shi'ar Empire, and they have the Nullifier, and they got to go through Gladiator and all that to get it.
Or you could use the Inhumans with the Nullifier.
It's true. It's true.
And that's how you reintroduce those characters. Is you have to go to the blue area of the moon or Atala.
And say I had them in the first part of this movie, so
it all comes around, man. Yeah, you could. There's a lot of things you can introduce that organically in these movies, or reintroduce characters that are in these movies pretty easily, and you don't necessarily have to use them a lot. You just have to, a glorified cameo.
Yeah, and I think Endgame's kind of proved the point that you don't need to have. Give these people a lot of screen time. Yeah. If they're previously established, you can just throw them in there, can come and go as it pleases. It's the entire point of this cinematic universe. They pop up, they go, cool, done.
Yeah, if they got things to do, you got things to do. You're trying to essentially you're gonna have to split up the team anyways at some point.
Yeah.
Because you'd have Thing and Invisible Woman holding off the annihilate the wave of Galactus or whatever those things are.
Oh, I never looked up how they actually spelled that. I was kind of.
we'll just call them like space bugs or something. I don't know. Or Punisher robots.
It was literally Gar, like GAH LAKTUS. Galactus.
It's like what is it? How do you say it? Like how it sounds.
Yeah, it's I can't think what it is.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. I can't. I'm brain dead at this point.
What was it called?
Symphonic.
It's something like that. I can't.
Phonically or something. I don't know. I'm sure Chad could definitely.
I'm gonna cut this out so I don't look so dumb.
You guys can correct us in the back.
Phonetically, that's the one.
Phonetically, yeah. God, I sound like a fucking idiot.
No, I'm definitely going to cut out a good 20 seconds there just to save us. No, we're not that stupid.
We're not dumb as you think we are.
So yeah, phonetically, yeah.
Phonetically, yeah. There's a lot of things that Galactus could use, as like the drones and the. I don't know. Like I say you only include 2 heralds. You can nod to past heralds, but like I think Terex and Silver Surfer are, I think, the 2 characters that you probably use, and I think they're more recognizable. But you can like nod to like Firelord and all them.
I think it depends how many people you throw at Galactus.
Yeah,
she's throwing. She's throwing a lot, and you only have like Terax around. Then like, yikes, because that shows how strong Terax is. But I don't know. I think no. You don't want them to feel like a Black Order again, where they just have to develop like jobbers. Like, let's not do that.
Yeah, and like, because do you remember that? Yeah, because that was the only part of that. Remember that the Earth's Mightiest Heroes, that last season where they fight Galactus, and it just seemed like they were fighting off like it just seemed like every herald in existence was in that movie, because like I think Tarek should just bump his power level up a little bit. I mean, he fought all 4 of like the Fantastic Four by himself with Doom, I think, if I remember correctly, in the John Byrne run, and like you can also involve Doom in some way, like he realizes that like this is a bigger threat than anything the Fantastic Four, and he kind of just
I suppose what you could do, like the halfway point in the second act, is kind of 8-Point Dan Slott did a little bit, because I like Dan Slott's Fantastic Four run so far, but have it so Doom like straps him down, and he's like, no, they think they've won, but it's only a temporary thing.
And like,
and then the Inhumans are like, oh, we've got this tiny little gun thing you can use. There you go.
This little odd looking thing that scares the living heck out of them. And then like I think you could end, like, I'm going to jump to the end because I think the end would be kind of cool. Is like I think that you could introduce the Future Foundation by the end of that movie.
I was going to use it as a way, like this whole event as a way to
pull everything together.
Yeah. It's kind of like Tony Stark with the Avengers and Iron Man 3. It's like, he's seen aliens, been to space, he's now upping everything. We use the Future Foundation kind of like that way for Reed.
Yeah. And like the team was actually used that way in the comics, if I remember correctly. But like,
I think
so. Like depending on the past, like how long has passed, I think like Valeria and like Franklin could be, like kids by then, or that the age that they were in the comics, and like you could use that as like you could see that relationship between him and Doom, and like maybe that's who pulls Doom in that direction, and like for the Valeria.
I would say get the girl who played Cassie back for Valeria, but she'd be way too old. Way too old. You need to find a little girl for that role.
I'm pretty sure she's scarred, or you could just get don't use the little girl from Morgan, like that whole thing with Morgan Stark.
Oh yeah, that's people are sick.
Yeah. And we're not gonna go there, but I think this could like end like the end their trilogy with like kind of an exclamation mark, and like I think introducing Galactus could just, he could be just the character that is the big bad for the next next slate of all movies, stuff like that.
I definitely think like having the nullifier just like put him back into like the regeneration state or whatever it is.
Puts him back in space.
His little Odin sleep pod thing.
His little egg.
And then he floats back off into space, and then at some point he's got to come back, and then that's when the ultimates are like, "Hey, Gold Galactus time." But that's that's for a different episode.
And then you see the gold member character come on.
Don't know if that would fly in 2030 whenever this movie comes out.
Probably not. I don't think Mike Myers wants to go back to that character.
I think my post-credit for this whole thing would be the Future Foundation.
Yeah, for sure. That's like a must. Because at this point you kind of earn that post-credit, because it's like you got to get to that character, and like depending on how many years are between each movies, you could get to that point by the fourth movie for sure.
I mean, the way they're going with things, it's like they don't really care that a sequel has to be out in like 2 years. It's like, Doctor Strange can have 5, Guardians 2 to 3 can have like 7.
2 decades later,
like the hell it is, it's just, which is kind of a worry for the main 4, because it's like, wow. Let's say hypothetically Krasinski and Blunt get it. They're going to be old. They're going to be really old.
Well, at least he'll actually have the gray stripes.
I was going to say it will naturally occur.
You just got to sign the contract that you got to naturally, beat the character when you have gray temples.
Yeah, we own the color of your hair, John.
Yes, so this has to happen. You have to be this age. Or you don't get the contract at all, man. Like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that kind of like, I don't know, man. I feel like I can't wait. After talking about all this stuff, it just makes me want to like reread all that Hickman stuff, and like,
the Hickman run, so good.
God, I like even if the movies like follow that blueprint from the first to the last, I'm gonna be very happy. And
I can't imagine they wouldn't. If you're doing the whole like mixture of modern and classic stuff, you need Hickman's run in there.
Oh yeah. Like Hickman's run is like I think a lot of people criticize his run for being too slow and like wordy, but I think those characters definitely fit that mold a little bit more. Like that faux science.
I need to read it again. I really do.
Yeah, I'm gonna reread. I'm going to go back. I got it all queued up on my Marvel Unlimited. I'm like,
nice.
Yeah, like I love the artwork. I love the story. Like, I don't mind that it's so long that it's like 3 omnibuses long. Like
that's just Hickman though. Like the dude don't do short runs. Like you get Hickman, you're in it for years.
See that I don't mind. I love that. Like if you give me good stories. I don't care how long you take it, like just, my only asterisk is like, just have a conclusion towards the end, at least some type of like, conclusion, but like, you can go as long as you want. I don't care, just as long as you keep that quality up, I'm good, man. Like, I'll keep reading it, man. I'll read 4 or 5 omnibus for full, like, Hickman's run, like, I'm a huge fan, like, I can't get enough of, like, that guy, like, anything he gets, he just takes and runs with it and like just produces gold, like he's doing with the X-Men series, man. Like he's taking those characters that have been flopped around by so many different, creators and like just kind of like not tossed to the side, but just like abused, story wise, and like, like he's taking it and just saying, you know what, I'm going to do this. And like, he's done anything he's done that he's written, I'm on board with. Like, maybe not everything that other people have written in his like continuum. Maybe I'm not always on that, but like anything he's written about any of the characters, I'm like, yeah, man, just give me more. Like, I'll sign a blank check. Just give me whatever you have. And like
now, speaking of Hickman, because it's kind of like sparked an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do the Illuminati before or after the Council of Reeds?
Before. I think before. I mean, you can hint at the Council of Reeds. But
or is the Council of Reeds like Endgame? These characters.
Yeah, I think the Council of Reeds is kind of like an Endgame type situation for me, anyways. I don't know. Like to me, I think the Illuminati is kind of like whether you like that those stories or not or whatever, man. I think that's a pretty important.
Because it kind of feels like a precursor to the Council of Reeds.
Yeah.
It's like, the Illuminati failed. I can only really trust myself. And then next thing you know, there's a billion Reeds.
Yeah. God,
all with Infinity Gauntlets, because that's just Reed reaching.
And like that to me, that scares me more than anything that you could.
Oh, it's horrifying.
It's fucking like the guy is like
Reed's in that case. He's absolutely in that case.
He paints himself as a hero, but like underneath all that, like the blue, jumpsuit, man, he's pretty much a monster, right? I mean, he's
and I hope
crazy.
I hope they get that, because as much as I love these movies, they do very much have only like 4 or 5 archetype for characters.
Yeah,
like let's make Reed someone completely different.
See, and that's where you bring in Hickman as a consultant.
Yeah.
Like you bring him on because like who knows that like there's anybody like modern wise that has written this character, I think Hickman gets them and makes them more interesting. Yeah. Anybody I love the older stuff. Don't get me wrong, but it was kind of fluffy. There wasn't really any like.
It's very much of its time.
Yeah, I mean, like the tagline was America, like Marvel's first family. It was kind of a fluff, and like once you get into Hickman stuff, that's kind of like, I feel like if you had to rate it, it was like a PG-13, rating, because like it was just going there. Like it doesn't shy away the fact that Reed's a little crazy. It like kind of accentuates the fact that he is not the best human being. He strives to be a good guy, but
like his hair, he's very morally gray.
Yeah. I mean, you look at like past events like Civil War, the involvement he had and all that. Like, I mean, it's just, it comes from a cold scientific, way of thinking. It's not like it's almost like a computer. Like he's a robot, and that's how he's thinking. And like he doesn't calculate, human souls or choice or something like that. That's the problem with like really, really smart people, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Which I think, all this is a very good way to lead into that type of Reed.
Yeah.
Now you can start him off with happy, fluffy Reed, but then the more
you
stuff that happens, he's kind of like, all this is now on me. And you can't. You go into the Illuminati Reed, and then the Council of Richards Reed, and then when Krasinski is 105, because he's going to be tied to this forever, you make him the Maker. And that.
See,
absolutely. Even if the Maker just comes from the Council of Reeds, and it's just a Reed that's gone, like you tie it in that way, and it's not the Reed we follow. Even though if it's the Reed we follow, I think that'd be one of the best things in movie history.
No, I love the fact that he turns it almost feels like he's like the Maker was like he was so committed to whatever he felt was right.
Yeah.
It's like that old saying where like the best villains are the people that believe in what they do. I don't know if that's verbatim how I feel, but like that's the one thing like the Tim Story movies never touched on. Like it was just so happy, friendly, and if I had to give the Trank movie some credit, it would be the fact that it was a little dark and like he didn't, the character wasn't like happy-go-lucky Reed. He was, I mean, like I'm not praising this movie in 1 ounce whatsoever, but that up until that point you didn't get that at all from that character. You just got the whole like PG feel, But I think the more interesting characters are the ones that are like so conflicted, and that and Hickman nails all that, and like they should bring him on as a consultant for these scripts and the series, I feel like if they don't do that in some way, then they're kind of like missing. You know, I think they're it's like a missing piece from that, you know, puzzle. You know.
I agree. I absolutely agree. But yeah, I think that's probably going to bring an end to our fourth part. It's not going to be as long as the third part of the first part. It seems to have gone an hour, half hour, an hour, half hour. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. But
yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm definitely going to make the next one the Ultimates.
Yeah, I mean it's a natural progression of like the series because like you've already introduced like one of the characters and like one of the bigger characters in that series, and he, you know, like
literally and physically.
But yeah, I would definitely like be see how back because that series could be like a trilogy on itself, you know.
Oh yeah. I don't know how we do it. It might be like a week before to like figure it out, but we'll definitely talk about that one because that run is wild.
Oh yeah,
absolutely wild.
It took the series that had like the worst name, like the worst reputation, and turned it into like one of the best series, like one of the best I've ever seen. You know?
And criminally unread. People need to read up.
Criminally
Al Ewing's at Ultimates and Ultimates 2 or Squared, whichever you want to call it. Criminally underrated and underread.
It has to be remedied, man.
Just ignore the whole like Ultimates by Miller and Loeb. Just ignore it.
The racist Cap and like his Nazi-loving son.
Yeah.
Cannibal Hulk. Yeah, that's
Horny Hulk.
Horny Hulk. And like, I don't know.
Poor Janet. They did not like Janet Van Dyne in the Ultimates. One bit.
I mean, he practically ate, like, she got eaten, and like, you got to think that once she gets eaten, she had like the other side of that is like the excrement, you know, like she's gonna have to be, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, you go in one end, you gotta come out the other. Yeah.
What are you saying about the character? Is it like are you saying that characters, you know?
What? Well, we're gonna leave. We're gonna leave this Fantastic Four How to Introduce series off with a Marvel for once in your goddamn life. Show some respect to Janet Van Dyne.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Please. You did a dirty. Got done dirty in the movies. Even though Michelle Pfeiffer's fantastic, but you're doing a dirty currently.
Yeah, I think they have plans for the.
They better. That's all I say. They better.
Like, I mean, you can't. Yeah, I think you're gonna see a little bit more significant role in that next one.
Hopefully. So yeah, thanks for everyone for watching this series, and we hope you continue to watch it as we go forward with it during this period of not enough news for 3 shows a week on this channel.
Thank you, pandemic.
So yeah, we will both catch you all next time. So bye.
Bye.